Hey guys, I found another scary story online that I want to share with you guys. I also have software now where I can edit to make it much more easier to listen to, so I might redo that last one I did if you guys want. This story is called I Think Someone Else is Living in My House. It's from No Sleep on Reddit. I will link the link below if you want to read this yourself. But it looks like a 5-parter, so I'll try to get to part 3 in this one. So, before I ramble on, let's start this. I'm not sure, but there's no other explanation. Someone else must be living in my house. My parents died in a car accident not very long ago. It's like the misery never ended. My mom had been pregnant with her 3rd child, and it was stillborn a couple of years ago. She and my dad had been on their way to the hospital for a checkup when the accident happened. A few days after, I actually started to accept that this had happened, and I decided I needed to leave the city and go to my family's house. My mother's family had had this beautiful house for like 6 generations. It's in the middle of nowhere in a little village, which isn't really a village. It's more like some houses with a crossroad by the ocean. There are no signs that will lead you here, and if you don't know about it, you'll never come past it. It's right in between 2 larger villages, but you have to take a detour and then take another detour to get to this place. The closest city is a 2-hour drive through the forest and the fields. There are people who have lived in this neighboring village for ages who've never even heard of this place existing. And now, this cute little house in the middle of nowhere is mine. I would love that. Maybe. As long as there's Wi-Fi, I would love that. I love this house and this place because no one will find it and no one even knows it exists. My little brother doesn't like it though. He thinks it's eerie. We had always said that I would get this house because I love it so much. He never put up a fight with it, and being the businessman that he is, managed to use this to his advantage and said since I got the house, he would get our parents' apartment in Spain. I agreed, since I'm not a big fan of the extreme warmth there. We never reflected on that this would ever actually happen. We just thought that our parents would live forever. As kids do, they can't really imagine the world without the people who have been there with them since before the day they were born. It's been a while now since they've passed, so it's a bit easier to talk about it. Online, of course, not in person. I still don't want to acknowledge it out loud. After the funeral, I decided to stay in a house until I felt better about going back to the city where I live. The funeral was late because of an investigation and complications with police and stuff. I honestly didn't listen. I was already shaking my very core to realize that both my parents were gone. My little brother is 20 and already living on his own when the accident happened, so I didn't have to worry about custody or anything like that. I'm in the house as I'm writing this. The time is about 10 a.m. and I just had breakfast. I've lived here for about a month now, and it's so nice to be out of the city and away from all the people. When I got here, I just dropped all my bags in the hallway and walked around a little. My family had been coming here since I was a little kid. Every time we wanted a break from the city, we came here. My brother loved the speed and the excitement of the city, plus he didn't have people around his age here. I think that's why he hated this place so much. Strongly disliked it is a better way to say it though. But when I was walking around here, I kept hearing cracking on the floor above me. But I just thought it was the wind. It's been pretty windy here for a while now, so I thought that caused this sound. Or the house was just settling from all my walking around. The first few nights here were all good. The wind stopped after about 2 days and the sun came out. I didn't have to worry about anything now. Here there are only a few people living year-round here. All of them are over 60 and the majority are over 80. I'm the youngest person here with my 24 years. There are families that come here on the summer, but they are only here for about a month or 2. We don't have a supermarket or any kind of market. We used to have an ice cream shop from a window at one of the neighbors' house, But that closed about 10 years ago. To do shopping, you have to go to one of the nearby villages. Yeah, this place is that small. It was the fifth night that had got me thinking a little. I just got into bed when I heard something from downstairs. It sounded like the couch had gotten some weight on it. I was scared because how in the name of anything is that possible? So I sneaked downstairs and looked. There was nothing on the couch, but there was a mark on it, and on the pillow like somebody had sat there. I figured it had to be me because I'd just eaten dinner just 2 hours or so before. I think I fixed the pillows and went back upstairs. I didn't hear anything for the rest of the night. When I woke up, I laid in bed for a while. I woke up to that feeling where I don't know who I am, what my life is, and didn't even know I was a person. After about the 5 seconds of pleasant forgetfulness, I started to remember. My parents are gone, I own this house, I live here because I don't want to talk to anyone. I almost started to cry, but I managed to keep it together and get up and go downstairs. I walked downstairs and past the TV room with the couch and into the kitchen. I had made breakfast and went up to the couch to lay down and watch TV and eat. It looked like someone had sat on the couch, even though I thought I fixed the pillows last night. Or did I? I don't really remember, and even if I did, I had, that very morning, forgotten who I was, so maybe I didn't. Maybe I just thought I had fixed it and went to bed. I sat down and didn't really think about it anymore. I've been on the kind of diet where I had to have porridge for breakfast, and it's disgusting, so I just focused all of my thoughts on trying to finish the abomination in front of me. I went to do the dishes, and the sink is in the hallway next to the kitchen. The hallway has the only bathroom in the house, and in the bathroom there's a sauna. The door to the sauna is always closed because it smells kind of bad in there. Since we were kids, me and my little brother were told we shouldn't go into the sauna because our parents would soon fix it. So it's a bit messy in preparation for the fix-up. We're a family of procrastinators, so that was, of course, never done. In the sauna, I heard a thump, like something big and soft hit the stone floor. I went into the bathroom and stopped in the front of the closed sauna door. I didn't want to go in there because I can smell the stench from here. But I opened the door and took a look inside. It was messy, and as it always has been, and nothing was on the floor. It must have come from outside or even from the roof. I didn't want to make a big deal about this now, so I put my shoes on, went outside, locked the door, and spent the rest of the day walking around the village by the ocean. And when I got home later that night, I went to unlock the door, and it wasn't unlocked. How is the door unlocked? I locked it. I remembered it too, because it's such an old lock, and it's a real hassle to lock it. Not that it actually needed locking, because if anyone did break in, the list of suspects who could have done it is not very long. But there it was, an unlocked door that was locked only a few hours ago. But there it was, an unlocked door that was just locked only a few hours ago. The key was in the same place that I had left it, under the rock by the grass. My mom always told me to keep the hidden key under one of the special rocks about 10 feet from the door, so if you don't ruin your pants with it. The key was old, rusty, and pretty big, so I didn't really question it, and then I always hid the key there. It was on autopilot now. The key had still been under the rock when I went to get it, but it didn't really lay like the way I left it. I felt the need to start taking pictures and notes of just what I did during the day, just so if anything didn't seem right, I could just look at my pictures and my notes. But that might have been a bit too much. I've only lived here for about a week. I went inside and looked around. Everything was where I remembered it. My computer is where I left it. Why did I even bring the computer? We don't even have internet here. The door to my room was closed as it was before. The other doors I've left open were open. Nothing was out of order. This is scary. I had read about a gang of kids a couple of years ago who broke into people's houses and just walked around and watched TV and stuff. Could that be what's going on? I thought I should ask my nearest neighbor, Kurt. He was a Swedish immigrant who was in his late 70s and had lived in this place since he came here about 30 years ago. How he could afford or even find this place as an immigrant or what he did during the days were still a complete mystery to me. His car was always parked in his yard, and it looked like he was always home. Maybe he could help me. He was a nice man, but he won't initiate a conversation. It was late, and I was just tired after my walk, so I brushed my teeth, took my meds, and went to bed. I slept in my parents' bed because it was the largest and most comfortable. Even though they hadn't been there for about 5 months, it still smelled like them. That just started something in me, and I felt my tears building up, and I could feel them running down my cheeks. I tried to calm down, but I needed a little more than that. I needed paper. So I went down to the kitchen, and I saw that the fridge was ajar. It must have been open for 12 hours because that's when I had my lunch. I had a chicken in there thawing out, and I was just expected to see a big pool of raw chicken goo dripping, but no, it was nothing. The chicken was perfectly fine. I felt that it was still cold. In fact, the whole fridge was cold, and according to the thermostat that we kept in there, the fridge had not gone down by even 1 degree. Is this a super fridge, or was it just opened? The time was almost midnight, and I took paper and went back upstairs, put some clothes on, and decided to look around. We had a fireplace in the living room with the TV and the couch. So I took one of those long metal sticks and started to look. Thoughts were racing through my head like, am I an idiot for looking through the house with a metal stick because I might have a super fridge here? I went through the whole house and found nothing. I even looked in the sauna, but the smell was just so awful when I opened the door. I just looked in. I went back to bed, and with tears still in my throat, I just lay down and closed my eyes. I'd heard that thump again from the sauna, and again. Then there was just a deadly silence. I heard the house cracking, but that was just the house settling. I heard something new now. So here I was just in a tank top reaching for a metal stick that I had placed by the bed. The silence went on forever. I don't know how long I was frozen looking at the door with my metal stick in my hand, but it felt like hours. It had probably been around a few minutes, but the thump from the sauna felt like it could have stopped and slowed down time. I had just started hearing something downstairs again. It wasn't heavy, and it was most certainly not big. My dad had always said, never get in a fight that you don't know that you'll win. And that quote just echoed through my head. I had a weapon. I thought it was slightly larger, and I'd probably have the element of surprise. I had taken after my mom for the most part. She was small, brown hair, and we looked a lot alike. But I had a bit more muscle, and I could do some damage to someone or something attacking me. There is definitely somebody downstairs, or something downstairs. Or it moved slowly, scarily slowly, but it moved. I could hear it go out into the hallway, into the kitchen, into the living room. The person or the thing was by the stairs now, and I could hear footsteps on the stairs. Not walking, running. Someone was running up the stairs toward my bedroom, and a childish voice called out,
Mommy home.
A dark childish voice was yelling,
Mama.
As it ran up the stairs. What was I supposed to do? Someone would have hid behind the door and attacked when the person or thing came in. Someone else would have just hid. A third person would have jumped out the window on the second floor, which I was on, but I was almost paralyzed. I just sat there with the metal rod in my hand, and I stared at the door as it opened. It opened hard, and I could see the silhouette of whatever it was that had just run up the stairs. It all happened so fast. The door opened, I saw a small silhouette, and not even stopping when the door opened, still running towards me. It was small, but it ran fast and very strange. It looked like a person, a small one, but still a person. It ran as if it had a stiff leg and shoulders were slightly misaligned. It ran to the left side of the bed as I sat in the middle. The bed is pretty high, but it started to climb up. I screamed when it had entered the room, and then as it climbed, I started waving the metal rod. I hit it hard in the head 3 times, I think.